What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Sunday. You know it's a Sunday fun day here. May 5th, 2024. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Summertime is hitting us right in the face. So hope you're doing well. Like I said, no show tonight, no TBC Weekly at 7:30. We're going to take a couple weeks off because apparently Jeff and Sean, it's just too much to ask for them to show up 2 weeks in a row. So anyway, don't hire your friends. Anyway, let's get into it. Please visit thebuckeyecast.com and check out the shop. All the shirts and hats are on sale there. I am working to get a storefront set up here on YouTube for those of you watching on YouTube, where you can purchase products directly, safely through the YouTubes. If you're listening on podcast, I would recommend just going to thebuckeyecast.com. It is 100% secure, fast delivery, and money back guarantee. What's better than that, right? So let's get into it. Today, we're continuing our freshman focus series. We're talking about the running back, James Peoples, out of San Antonio, Texas. Came to the Buckeyes at, excuse me, fucking ads, 5'10", 203 out of Veterans Memorial High School. He's going to be number 20 this year, so look for him. And you probably noticed that in the spring game. But he was a high four-star coming out of San Antonio, 94, 84. Nationally ranked number 114 in the class, number 8 running back in the class. Is that any good? Yeah, I'll take that. Alfred finally landed a high-end 4-star. And so he was only, well, they have him at 5'9.5" in high school, but they got him at 5'10" now. 2 visits. That's all it took for James Peoples to become a Buckeye. That's all it took. He got his OSU offer at a camp in the summer of 2022, committed to the Buckeyes less than a year later in April of 2023, after he had taken a 3-day visit to the Buckeyes. If you remember, going back a year or so, Ohio State missed out on Jordan Marshall. He was a number 4 running back in the class out of Cincinnati area. He committed to the Cheaters, of course, but the Buckeyes needed a spark at running back in that 2024 class. They needed like a bell cow, the guy, and that came when James Peoples committed. He picked Ohio State over Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, TCU, and Oregon. That was his final 5. Well, 6 if you include the Buckeyes. But anyways, even though Peoples grew up in San Antonio, his dad is from Cleveland and his mom is from Youngstown. So you got a little Northeast Ohio connection there. And that Ohio connection is always paying dividends in recruiting for the Buckeyes. And once again, it paid dividends for the Buckeyes in this case. People said, quote, "There's a lot of great things about Ohio State, but they always have a great offensive line. To be able to run behind a crew like that and play with the best in the nation is one of the most important things to me. But also my parents were both born in Ohio, and something that was big on my list is my family making it to games, and that was appealing about Ohio State too." So love that. In high school, James Peoples, his reputation started his junior year, really. It was his best season in high school. He carried the ball over 200 times for over 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Then tack on 16 receptions for 294, almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was named his district's co-MVP that year. He did miss most of his senior year due to an unknown injury. They kind of kept that hush-hush. I didn't know what was going on. I was tracking, if you remember last fall, I was tracking every week how the high school guys were doing, the commitments and stuff, how they were doing in their high school games. And for like more than half the year, nothing from Peoples. I'm like, do I have the right high school here? This is San Antonio, Texas, right? Messed me up. But yeah, we'll never know what happened, at least not for anytime soon. So anyways, his senior year, he was still able to run for 900 yards, 10 touchdowns on 92 carries. That's nice. Nice little 10 yards per carry average there. Peoples also dominated on the track. As a freshman, he ran a 12.4 100 and a 25.14 200. Also long jump 19.2. His sophomore year, he ran a 15.81 110 hurdles, and then long jump 21 3.25. So his immediate impact this year on the Buckeyes, we have the best running back room in the country, at least at the top, with Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins. But enrolling in early in January, like Peoples did, is going to help him greatly. Peoples will probably be third on the depth chart behind the two upperclassmen. He has impressed the coaching staff and his teammates in the spring practice window. Quote, Ryan Day said this, quote, it's great to see both James and fellow freshman running back Sam Williams-Dixon coming in as freshmen, picking it up quickly. You can see both of them, they have talent. Now, in 2023, all Ohio State running backs combined for 329 carries. So that comes out to 25.3 carries per game. It doesn't include the sweeps and end arounds to like a Mecca and the receivers. It's strictly running backs. So 25.3 carries by running backs per game. So if you calculate that ahead for 2024 in 16 games, that's going to be over 400 carries. So that's got to be divvied up over essentially 4 running backs, scholarship running backs anyways. So in the spring game, though, Peoples had a nice 40 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries, and he added 3 catches for 23 yards. I love the running backs that have the versatility to catch the ball out of the backfield. Not used enough, in my opinion, in most programs. Definitely not in Ohio State's. But Peoples showed his shiftiness and that burst of speed that you want to see in the spring game too. So looking long term, you got Henderson and Judkins. They're going to enter the 2025 draft, most likely, barring injury. There will be a battle for the starting running back spot next season. You got Peoples and Sam Williams-Dixon. They'll be the only returning scholarship running backs on the roster. So Peoples could be your RB1 going into his sophomore year very easily. He'll at least be able to battle for it, right? So at 5'10", 203 pounds, Peoples already has a size to be successful at Ohio State. He probably needs 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, I would say, in the long run. Then he could be the next star running back in 2025. Peoples talked about his own game this way. He said, quote, my best attribute of my game is my vision, probably, my agility and quick feet to move the way I move. But it's hard to say what my best trait is because I'm a great receiver. I was a receiver before I was a running back, and I'm great at catching the ball, great in open space and hitting tight holes. I'm going to leave that one alone. Continuing. But overall, my vision and ability to hit the hole quick is probably it. Again, continuing. You probably want to compare him to J.K. Dobbins, both from Texas. They both have similar skill sets as a runner and a receiver. Peoples won't play as much as Dobbins did as a freshman. Remember, he started week 1 as a freshman. Dobbins did. He could have a similar overall career, though, and develop into an early-ish overall draft pick, early for a running back anyway. Dobbins was a second-round pick in the 2020 draft. I don't know. That's a pretty high bar to set for running backs to go that early in the draft, as they're being devalued, seems like more and more every year in the NFL. But in just 3 years, remember, Dobbins was only here 3 years. He had 725 carries, 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns, and then 71 catches for 645 and 5 touchdowns. So, again, that versatility, just like James Peoples. So it'll be exciting to watch another running back begin his Buckeye career and see where it goes. So we wish all the best to number 20, James Peoples, number 20 in your program, number 1 in our hearts, right? So Hey, don't forget to check out the buckeyecast.com. I appreciate you guys. Hope you're having a good one. We'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.